I'm Senior Life Sciences Analyst John Vandermosten, joined by Dr. Laxminarayan Bhat, the founder, president, and CEO of Reviva Pharmaceuticals. Reviva is developing Brilaroxazine, an atypical antipsychotic for the treatment of schizophrenia and other neuropsychiatric disorders. For our evaluation of Reviva, Zacks has developed a very detailed, discounted cash flow model that forecasts the value of Brilaroxazine in schizophrenia. It quantifies the addressable market, makes assumptions for penetration rate, pricing, royalty payments, probability of success, and many other factors to generate our valuation. Today, we're going to take a simpler approach. Over the last few years, there have been several transactions that can help frame the valuations for schizophrenia drugs. Bristol Myers bought Karuna Therapeutics for $14 billion in 2024. AbbVie bought Cerevel Therapeutics for $8.7 billion. And J&J brought Intra-Cellular Therapies for $14.6 billion about a year ago. We also saw LB Pharmaceuticals go public last September with a phase 2 schizophrenia asset. LB is now valued at over $600 million. For our simplified approach, we're going to use a multiple of peak revenues to estimate valuation. Let's start with the market size. Lax, can you help me here? What's the schizophrenia population in the United States, and how much of this is the addressable market for Brilaroxazine?
In the US, schizophrenia population is anywhere around a 3.5 million to 4 million population.
We also look at revenues for the class as a whole. And what do we have here? I think we could look at both the revenues for the most recent year and then also looking ahead a few years when Brilaroxazine will be in the market.
The global market size is around currently around close to $12 billion for schizophrenia.
Next thing I wanted to look at is the anticipated penetration rate of Brilaroxazine into the market. And if you look at the current drugs out there now, I think J&J has a nice in excess of 20% market share with their product, with their lead product in the space. What do you think, and also taking account of its safety and efficacy profile compared to other assets out there, what do you think Brilaroxazine can achieve in terms of a range of penetration into the addressable market?
Psychiatric drugs played slightly differently than other indications. So what we noticed in the market dynamics, out of 14 drugs got approved, only 6 to 7 drugs captured close to billion or over $1 billion peak sales. One thing is there in that characteristic, those drugs, 6 to 7 drugs captured over $1 billion revenue. Those drugs showed a reasonable efficacy for a broader efficacy beyond positive symptom, and then better safety profile, combination of this. But the remaining drug did not reach to that mark. You can slice whether it's not a broader efficacy or a higher side effect in certain patients. When I say higher side effects in certain patients, some patients may have the cardiac comorbidity. Then some drugs may not be suitable for them. For some patients, they have a higher motor side effect. Then it's not suitable. That's why it is very difficult to compare all drugs using same criteria. On the other hand, Brilaroxazine has a very, to our knowledge, very clean safety profile. So we believe, based on the profile, it can be applicable to a larger patient population. And then based on that, a broader efficacy and safety profile, we believe even capturing a decent 10% of the market share.
The other element in our valuation calculation is what price we might be able to achieve in the market for Brilaroxazine. What are patients going to pay for this drug? What are patients and payers going to pay for this drug? And we have a number of examples out there: Cobenfy, Caplyta, Cefiris, among others.
If you look at in the last 10 years, all the new drugs got approved. They're all pretty much priced competitively. It used to be anywhere around $20,000 per year.
Okay.
Up lately, including the Cobenfy, if you look at, and then the Caplyta, they are all in the bracket of anywhere around $22,000 to $24,000.
I spent a little time before our call today just doing some research on what appropriate multiples are for drugs that are in the market and approved, and then also ones that are in late stage development. And what we found was that about a 3 to 5 times peak revenues is an appropriate multiple to add to apply to drugs that are already approved. And then for late stage development drugs such as Brilaroxazine, a range of anywhere from zero point 0.8 to about 2 times peak revenues is an appropriate valuation. So with all that in mind, we're going to take a break while we do the math, and then we'll come back with the numbers to give you our result of what we think, or a back of the envelope valuation for Reviva. We're back with John Vandermosten and Dr. Laxminarayan Bhat, the CEO of Reviva Pharmaceuticals. We did our math, and we'll share the numbers with you. So we have an estimated market size of about 3 million individuals in the population, and about 10% penetration, and about $20,000 per year in revenues per patient. Right, that gives us peak revenues of about $6 billion. And then if we apply a 0.8 times peak revenue multiple to that for an advanced stage development product, we get a valuation of $4.8 billion for Reviva Pharmaceuticals. Our second approach is using the market size, which is estimated at about $12 billion. If we assume a 10% 10% market share of that $12 billion, we get $1.2 billion. And then if we apply a 0.8 multiple to that amount, we get approximately $1 billion in value. Let us just summarize again. Our valuation applies the low end of revenue multiples for Brilaroxazine and schizophrenia to anticipated peak revenues to generate an enterprise value and valuation for the company. And as a reminder, this approach is in contrast to Zacks' official valuation, which uses a discounted cash flow model, which is substantially more complex and has a lot more variables driving its result. See below for a link to our official methodology, and thank you for joining us.